Welcome to your reset with Christiane Piano, where the purpose is to support you in releasing all that you are not, so the truth of who you really are can emerge. This is accomplished through working with the body-mind from an ontological perspective. We use various modalities to support you in supporting yourself exactly where you are, so that you may return to an experience of wholeness and ease, moment by moment. Deep reflection is one of the greatest tools through which to do this. To take a moment, to pause, assess, reflect, and literally and figuratively reset, come back to center, and move back into your one and precious life with increased clarity and purpose. Hello, this is Christiane Piano, and this week's episode is a reflection on leaves. Now, I am often asked how I pick the themes of the weekly episodes, and quite honestly, some weeks the themes just drop into my lap, and others I sit with because I simply don't know. And I wait for the answer to arrive, and this happens to be one of those weeks. I had no idea what to speak to. And this morning, as I was on my morning walk, I grounded into my body, felt the feet on the ground, the wind was caressing my cheeks, and there was a chill in the air. And at a certain point, the sun popped slightly out from behind the clouds. And the angle of the sun was just right that it created a particular light. And as I was in deep reflection, listening and emptying out, to be in the moment, step by step, I looked up. And all of a sudden, it was just so evident. Leaves! The sight before my eyes took my breath away. The way the light of the sun was reflecting through the trees brought my attention directly onto the leaves, and I paused and simply just took it all in. Then I smiled and thought to myself, well, there you are, leaves. Now, you may just be asking yourself, what do leaves have to do with body, mind, well-being, and growth? Well, let's dig in and find out, shall we? We are deep into the fall season, and the leaves, at least those still on the trees, are now emanating golden hues, bright, deep reds. And the others, well, they have fallen to the ground. And on a windy day such as today, I witnessed them releasing from the trees, and as they swirled through the air and fell so gracefully to the ground, I found myself inspired. When you walk through the leaves, whether on a street or in a forest, you can hear them crunching under your feet. The sounds and sights of the fall season, the chill in the air, and bright blue skies on some days, and on others that cloudy embrace that comes with the move towards the winter season. Jim Bishop, a former journalist, wrote, "Autumn carries more gold in its pocket than all the other seasons." So it got me to thinking, how many of us out there in this world are creating the time and space to purposely pause and enjoy these golden hues, the chill in the air, the wind on our faces, and immersing ourselves in the sounds, sights, the feel of autumn. If you happen to be a person that is doing this, what impact does it have on you? What do you notice in your experience? And if you have not yet created the space, perhaps after listening to this episode, you just might. Purposefully creating the time to be with the beauty of this very moment. No matter what is going on for you, there is always something beautiful to be found in any moment, even if it is just simply being with the reality that you are alive. Now, although our tricky little minds may create a bit of a challenge in uncovering the beauty of the moment, it's a practice in and of itself. Purposely pausing and finding, discovering, uncovering the beauty of the moment, soaking your whole being, allowing it to fill you up, replenish you, regenerate you, being with all as is. The official last day of the fall season is on Sunday, December 21st. And depending when you are listening to this episode, will determine how many days are left to bask in the season of harvest and other layers of introspection and reflection. This episode drops on Monday, November 25th, so that comes to about 26 days left, almost a whole month. So let's take a look at what a leaf actually is, shall we? I mean, we are talking about leaves, and they are part of the wisdom of nature that surrounds us. And to tap into this wisdom, it can be fun and interesting to examine what a leaf is. And this will support us in discovering the wisdom. Wisdom from a leaf, you may ask? Why, yes. I mean, think about it for a moment. As a leaf grows, it develops, and then after some time, it lets go again. Over and over again. So let's take a look at what a leaf is. Did you know that leaves are one of the 3 organs of a plant? And the most important job of a leaf is to make food for the plant on which it resides. Leaves are the main, but not only, organ responsible for turning sunlight into food. They have different sizes, shapes, and textures, depending on what is most useful in their habitat. The green pigment found in most leaves absorbs sunlight, which is one of the important ingredients in the food-making process. This process is called photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, chlorophyll captures the energy of sunlight. The plant combines energy from sunlight, carbon dioxide from air, and water and nutrients absorbed by the roots to make glucose, sugar. Oxygen is produced during photosynthesis and is used by most living things, including us people. And the human body needs sunlight as well. Sunlight is essential for human health and well-being. The health benefits of sunlight include generating the production of vitamin D, supporting bone health, lowering blood pressure, preventing disease, and promoting good mental health, as sunlight releases serotonin, the happiness hormone, in your brain. What happens when you don't get enough sunlight? Well, vitamin D plays an important role in keeping your immune system in tip-top shape by boosting immune cells' production of pathogen-fighting proteins. When you don't absorb enough sunlight, you may experience a weakened immune system and become more susceptible to getting the flu, cold, or other infections. And you may even notice your mood simply drops. So creating the time and space to get outside and walk in the sunshine when it is actually a sunny day is important to your overall well-being and health. Our body-mind needs all sorts of nutrients from food and nature, as well as the environments we live in. Emotional nutrition being one of them, which is often overlooked. So let's now take a look at what leaves represent and how this ties into your growth and well-being. Leaves often represent nature in the most literal sense because they're a part of it, but they also symbolize growth and rebirth. Growth and rebirth. Growth and rebirth. Popular sayings include turning over a new leaf, meaning to start over, to act in a different manner, or change your attitude about something. Another expression is taking a leaf from someone else's book, meaning to imitate or emulate someone in a particular way. Leaves also represent the passing of time, as most of them so obviously change with the seasons. Now, I will not be going into the theme of time here, as I will save that one for another episode. But if you think about it for a moment, you do have a relationship to the passing of time. And depending on your current relationship to it, this will show up in how you experience your own, not only physical changes that come with it, but also who you know yourself to be and your relationship to yourself with the passing of time. But this is not an episode focused on aging, so leave that to the side for a moment, please. And if you do, you may get a sense of where I am going here. But please let me first complete with what we have started on what leaves represent. Leaves delineate a connection between all living things because of their inherent importance in the ecosystem. They provide food for plants, and plants provide the food for all living organisms on Earth. Without plants, all other food chains would cease to exist. So where does this leave you in your reflection on your relationship to the whole? Each of us is an individual, of course, but we are also simultaneously part of a greater whole, and each of us contributes to this whole, whether we are aware of it or not. We do not live in isolation, although sometimes you may feel that way. Each individual on this planet has an impact on every other human being and living organism on this planet. Now, this will not be the direction we are going in this episode, and possibly may show up at another time. But that said, taking a moment to pause and remembering that your very existence has an energetic ripple effect on the whole. And this piece we will pick out and weave into this very episode in relationship to the wisdom inspired by the leaf. I'm going to read to you a poem now by the author John Mark Green. Rebellious leaves going out in a blaze of glory, setting trees aflame in righteous color. Reluctant surrender to rumors of coming winter. Crisp nights and insistent winds pry loose their desperate grip. One by one, they learn the art of letting go. Their final descent paints the ground lavishly. The art of surrender and letting go after all of the gripping and the dance of blazes of glory, righteousness, and reluctance. The art of letting go, The leaf has perfected this art with such grace over and over again and is not even aware of it. But we human beings have this special capacity of awareness, and we are very much aware of our ability to let go and surrender time and time again through the seasons of the year and our lives. There is this beautiful quote by Chad Sunk, a singer-songwriter. He says, "Love the trees until their leaves fall off, then encourage them to try again next year." We could play with this phrase and adjust next year to next season, or however you would like to. But what I think that resonates here in this conversation is the possibility that comes with loving yourself. As remember, we must always start with ourselves. Loving yourself until your leaves fall off, whatever they represent at the moment. To let things fall, including yourself, and then get back up again and start again. It takes love for yourself to give yourself permission to allow what has done its time, whether it be your identity, who you think you are, a habit, a personality trait, a role you play, a belief system, an attachment, a fear, a resistance, whatever it may be. We all require a love for ourselves, need to cultivate and nurture enough love towards ourselves until we can allow it, whatever that it may be, to fall off, release, and let go. When we learn to let go and develop an increased capacity to surrender, then we are able to harness and be infused by the power of what is waiting for each of us on the other side of the releasing. Yet, so many times we hold on for fear of what's on the other side, not sure of what it will look like. And so we hold on even when there is nothing life-giving about it, and never get to discover what's in the next chapter or book of our very own precious lives. We remain gripping on to, attached to, who we know ourselves to be. Yet, as Lao Tzu states, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. When we do the work to loosen the attachment to our body-mind, our identity, who we think we are, we then live into the freedom and spaciousness of becoming who we truly are. But as long as we are gripping, fighting, contorting, boots stuck deep in the thick mud, we don't get to taste the sweetness that comes with this discovery. And to allow for that requires a letting go and surrendering on the daily to the small stuff. And when we do that with the small stuff, we grow the capacity and learn that we are capable of letting go, especially with what we may consider the big stuff, and have the courage to recognize what no longer serves us, even if it has for a very long time. We can be grateful for whatever or whoever it may have been, and know that to open our wings and fly, and eventually soar through the skies, we need to first surrender to letting go of the old, stale, lifeless. This may be a habit, a practice, a relationship. I mean, the list is long. And whatever is resonating for you in this moment as you listen, just pause and take note for a moment. What has become lifeless? What is it that is calling for you to release and let go? Do you love yourself enough to surrender and let go? When you need inspiration at the moment, the leaves of this season surrounding you are showing you just that. There is a Zen saying that states, "Let go of stress, like leaves floating down the river, flowing away with ease and tranquility. Let go or be dragged down." So the question is, what is dragging you down in this moment? Can you cultivate the capacity to gracefully let go of the branch, the tree, rooted to the ground, trusting and knowing that whatever is next is just waiting for you to let go, to surrender? The wisdom of the leaf inspires just this, over and over again. I will leave you with a suggestion. Listen to the song by Goldford, "The Art of Surrender." It's a beautiful song, and may it be a reminder that at times what is called for is surrender, so that we can let go. Let go of all that may no longer be serving you. May you love yourself enough to have the courage to do so. And if you don't at the moment, may you be willing to do the work required to eventually get there with as much love and support as you may need. The holiday season can be challenging to navigate. Join me for a special holiday session, Presents, December 1st, 5 to 7 p.m. Central European Standard Time. Sign up direct or reach out with questions. I hope to see you.